Let's take a look at the 5 reasons why you should own a color meter and the 2 reasons why you don't. The lesson's about to start, but you better jump over really quick to theslanted-lens.com and sign up to win this Tamron 85mm 1.8 lens. Get over there. Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on the Slanted Lens, we're going to take a look at the 5 reasons you should use a color meter and the 2 reasons why you probably don't. You'll be shocked how this little triangle, the Illuminati color meter, solves all 7 of them. Shock and awe! Look at that, shocking, shocking! Number 1, use a color meter to measure the color temperature when you're shooting outside in natural light to get the correct white balance. Regardless of the situation you're in, color can pollute your scene from anywhere. It drives me crazy when I see these ashen looking people that just are too blue. They're in the shade and the shade is very blue. Or you got the grass that reflects up into a person's face. So you got all this green that reflects into their face. Or you got a building across the street that reflects a red or a yellow or some color into the person, even though they're in the shade and they think they're okay. Outside in a natural environment, there's light and there's all kinds of color being bounced around everywhere. A quick color meter reading will give you the right white balance, your skin color is going to look good, and it gives you a great place to start. So there's number 1. Number 2, when you're shooting inside using the practicals in the room, you really need a color meter. Every single light in that room has a different color balance. You've got a tungsten that's going to be more like 4000. You've got sunlight coming through that's more like 53 or 56. You've got different color balances on each light fixture in the room. So you take a meter reading, it says when I mix all this together, I get about 4,800 degrees or whatever that may be. And you take all those different color balances, mix them together and come up with what is best for your skin tone in that situation. Number 3, when you're using LEDs on location, you got to match those to the practicals in the room. You just simply take a meter reading of the practicals in the room and that tells you the white balance. You can set your LED at, because it's a bicolor, to that right white balance, set your camera at that same white balance and you're ready to shoot. One of the things that is just a pain to have to correct afterwards is a color crossover. That is, you got a certain color in the background and a different color on your person, or you got 2 different color balances going in the same images. It's just a pain to correct afterwards. It's much better to clean it up beforehand and move forward. All of these things are based upon what you like creatively. You may love a green light in the background. There's nothing wrong with that. But using a color meter allows you to make that decision and not allow the situation to make you have to make that decision. Or you just simply screw up and miss it. Number 4, you can test all of your lights to make sure they're all consistent with one another. Today, LEDs are all over the place. You have green, you got magenta, you got blue. I mean, they're all over the place. With a color meter, you can take a reading on each of your lights. It'll even tell you the gel that you need to get to put on that light to be able to neutralize it to give you a clean 53 or 56, depending on how you want to set your lights. This is really important when you're shooting something like a white background. You throw one LED up over here and a different there, and they have different colors, and all of a sudden the background goes from green to magenta in the background. You want it all to be the same color. So using a color meter, you can test each light, make sure they all have the same output. A good example of this is when you rent HMIs. Sometimes the bulb on an HMI can start to, as it gets old, have a different color cast. It starts to shift. So you're going to want to test that with your color meter, correct it with a gel to get it back to the right color balance, and make sure it matches all your other lights. When you're renting lights, it's always important to check all the lights to make sure the color balance is good on each of them. Number 5, for all you still shooters out there, a good color meter is going to measure the color of the strobe, and you can measure the color of the ambient. Now if you have to make corrections to your strobe so it will match the ambient, set your camera on the right white balance, it's going to give you a beautiful image. You won't get a color crossover. That's not easy for meters because they've got to measure the color of the strobe when that flashes, but a good color meter is going to do that. So this little device, the Illuminati, does all 5 of the things we talked about, and it solves the 2 problems that people don't buy a meter for. Number 1 is it is very inexpensive. It is $300. It's Bluetooth compatible, so it's sending information to your phone where you can see exposure, you can change the exposure and see the color readings. It allows your phone to be part of the process so it's not as expensive. And secondly, that makes it very easy to use. Put it on set, see readings on your phone, it'll track the light as it goes down at sunset. It just does all those things seamlessly with your phone. It makes it very simple to use on set. So get in now to this Kickstarter campaign so you can get this strobe / flash meter / color meter all in one for $200. If you miss that, get in at $300. It's still an incredible deal to be able to make a color meter part of your workflow. I would not hesitate. I would get immediately over to the Kickstarter campaign and sign up to get your Illuminati meter. The link is in the write-up below, so get over there, sign up for your meter. It's going to change your workflow, so keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking. If you're going to grow in your business, you've got to get some help. You've got to get help from mentors and people who can help you grow. I can do that for you. Go to theslanted-lens.com, sign up for our business material. It'll help change your life. You can sit and think about business, or you can do something about it, and it's time to do it. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. And while I'm doing my close-up, why don't you subscribe to the Slanted Lens? And then you can do your close-up too.